Number 2, reading aloud your daily text.
提姆受伤的脚。提姆在学校踢足球时踢到楼梯，导致无法行走。他母亲先载他到邻近的诊所，之后再去医院。医生帮他照了 X 光后，发现他的脚有轻微骨折。提姆不想打石膏，却在隔天就能走路了。
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the second part of our class. It's reading time, not silent reading, reading aloud. I will read this article aloud first, and then you will have to read it aloud to practice not only your reading, but your speaking and pronunciation. Today's article is called Tim's Injured Foot. Here we go. The story I am going to tell you about is true. Yesterday, I was really concerned because my younger son, whose name is Timothy, injured his foot. When I got home from work, my husband asked me to pick Timothy up from his school where the accident occurred. When I got there, I saw Timothy sitting in the office with a bag of ice on his foot. So I asked him what had happened. He said that he had hurt his toe playing soccer in the schoolyard, which is a concrete yard, not a grass field. When he tried to kick the ball, he missed and kicked the concrete stairs instead. As he was telling me this, some friends who were sitting with him in the office laughed. Although Tim was obviously in pain, he started laughing too. I, however, didn't think it was so funny after I discovered that Tim couldn't walk. In fact, he could only stand in the hall on one foot. So I had to go to the classroom and get his homework. After I had to help him hop to the car, which fortunately was parked right outside the entrance. As soon as he was in the car, we went to the walk-in clinic, which seemed like a funny name since Tim couldn't walk. Once there, however, we discovered that the doctor whom we usually see was away, so we drove to the emergency at St. Joseph's Hospital. Naturally, we waited a long time to see a doctor. Even though we had to wait, it wasn't so bad because Tim had a book and I, who had been anticipating a long wait, had brought a lot of tests to mark. Eventually, we saw the doctor, who told us to go for an X-ray. When we saw the X-ray technician who told us, to wait for the doctor's results. Afterwards, we waited again for the same doctor who had seen Tim earlier. When we finally saw him, he said that Tim had a small fracture that could either be plastered or left alone. Tim decided that he didn't want a cast, so we didn't have to wait. Furthermore, we already had crutches at home, so we didn't have to buy any. For both my husband, who had broken his leg in a bike accident, and my daughter, Katrina, who had broken her ankle in a skateboarding accident, had used the crutches. Yet, unlike their breaks, the fracture that Tim got was very small. It hurt a lot, but Tim was able to walk pretty well after a few hours. This morning when Tim got up, he didn't even need the crutches. And that's the end. So, what's the story about? It looks like the author, the teacher, has a son who injured his toe by playing soccer. He kicked the stairs. That's not too smart. His friends kind of laughed at him. And then they left the school and they had to go to a walk-in clinic. That means you don't have to make an appointment. You just walk in and see a doctor. But no doctor was there, so they went to a big hospital. And they finally found out he had broke his foot or his toe, just a small break, not very big. and the doctor said you can put a cast on it. That is the white plaster to wrap up a broken bone, or just leave it alone. They decided to leave it alone. And by the next day, Tim was feeling pretty good, and he didn't even need to use crutches to walk around on. Lucky Tim. Okay, that's it for our reading. It's time for you to do your homework. Read this article aloud, and your English will improve very quickly. Now that's it for this part of the lesson. Let's go on to the next part.